Wuthering Heights is the only novel by Emily Bronte, one of the three Bronte sisters. Was written between October 1845 and June 1846. It was first published in 1847 under the pseudonym Alice Bell, while a second edition was edited by her sister Charlotte in 1850.
The title comes from the name of one of the book's three main settings, the farmhouse on the Yorkshire moors, originally owned by the Hershaws, where Heathcliff was raised and where the story unfolds.
Although now considered a classic of English literature, Withering Heights was not received very enthusiastically by critics. Its innovative structure, which has been compared to a series of matrioscas, made critics perplexed when it first appeared. From the beginning, it was also considered controversial and received mixed reviews because its depiction of the physical and mental cruelty described was unusually strong.
The novel is about Heathcliff's love for Catherine and their passion that will prove destructive. Indeed, the central theme of the book is the destructive effect that a sense of jealousy and the spirit of revenge can have on individuals.
The narrative of Withering Heights is set on the English moors of early 19th century and is structured through the tale of Mr. Lockwood, the new tenant of Thrushcross Grange, who hears the story of Heathcliff and Catherine from Ellen Nellie Dean, housekeeper of Thrushcross Grange. The story unfolds in three main parts.
The first part follows the childhood of Catherine and Heathcliff, an orphan boy who is taken into care by Mr. Henshaw in Wuthering Heights and their relationships with the Henshaw family. After the death of Catherine's father, social differences and the manipulations of Hindley, Catherine's brother, create tensions that affect the lives of the protagonist, who had fallen in love. In the second part of the novel, Catherine decides to marry Edgar Linton for reasons of social status, leaving Heathcliff devastated. The latter will leave of England, and once he returns rich, he decides to take revenge by marrying his love rival's young sister. Subsequently, Catherine dies, and Heathcliff devotes himself to revenge against those who separated him from her, triggering a cycle of revenge and suffering.
The third part involves the next generation, showing how Heathcliff's action affected the lives of those around them. The novel ends with Heathcliff's death, which will be buried next to Catherine, the only person he ever loved. Wuthering Heights is celebrated for its complex narrative style, intense character, and depiction of deep, often dark human emotions. There are several film versions of Wuthering Heights. One of the most famous adaptations is William Wyler's 1939 film, starring Laurence Olivier as Heathcliff and Mary Oberon as Catherine. The film only tells about the first part of the book. In fact, some characters don't appear. Also, in terms of the setting, there are discrepancies. Instead of being in the late 18th, early 19th century, we are in the mid-19th century. The film depicts party with choreography and very crude scenes, showing us an animation that don't exist in the book. Moreover, the main character, who is dark-skinned, is portrayed by a white actor. Another film adaptation of Wuthering Heights is the 2009 film adaptation directed by Andrea Arnold
and it differs from the book in visual style and atmosphere, since the film is known for its stark and realistic visual style, which deviates from the more romantic and gothic tone of the book. The wild atmosphere of the Yorkshire moors is emphasized in a more brutal and often dark way.
Another difference is the narrative style, in that the adaptation plays with the narrative structure, presenting some events in a non-linear way, which may differ from the chronological sequence of the book. In addition, the film focuses on the troubled love story between Heathcliff and Catherine, so it eliminates some secondary characters. Heathcliff is also depicted here with white skin.
The 2011 adaptation gives more space to young protagonists, although it shows us many facts that don't exist in the book. It is the only adaptation in which Heathcliff is portrayed by a black actor.